Hello, hope everyone's doing good. We're going to do some more work on the commission tonight. Same one as before, with the Foxander stop motion. Definitely going to try to push to get more progress on this done faster because it is taking a bit longer than I intended. But, sometimes that's how projects go. But yeah, I've got some elements set up to go into Substance Painter. So, oh hey, Stark, how's it going? Yeah, so we're gonna try to do a little bit in Substance Painter today and see how that goes. If and depending on how that goes, I may either just put a lot more time into that, or I may focus on a few other elements of the model, like maybe some UV or not UVs, but maybe a little bit of rigging. We'll kind of see where things take us today. And here you can see I've gotten a little bit more work done on elements. Like, so this is generally what I want the textures look like. So going good. It's late at night. Just kind of chilling. Nice. Yeah, I hope you got a good like chill night. Can wind down a bit. Yeah, it's pretty late here as well. Yeah. So you can see the textures look okay here. But kind of the two main things I want with this is I want to see if I can get some edge wear on some of these textures, make them a little bit crisper, and maybe get some stitching on the edges. And I think there's a generator I can use in Substance to do that based on the way I've UV mapped this. So we'll see how that ends up looking. And that might be the first thing I end up doing today. And then the other thing is I added a little bit more of a shape here. You can kind of see in here where you have like a little bit of this. So I might thin this out to kind of match this. So yeah, I might do that now. And, but yeah, so there's some stitching. Hey Raygun, how's it going? Yes, we have this that kind of matches with our reference more. And I do want to get some stitching on here as well, kind of like they have in here. Oh, thanks for the blanket. And the fishing's working. That's good. Let's see what you got. Ooh, a straight spine foot. Nice. Yes, I think if I highlight all these and go into UV editing, I do have all of the elements UV unwrapped to be on the same texture sheet. So basically I'm grouping things based on how they go together, for the most part. So I've got like the buttons here, they go with the shirt, and that's good. I think I'll group the belt with the shirt as well. So we can, oops. Oh, we got a thong. Nice. I do wonder, does that mean the developer of this game is probably Australian, or are they just older? But yeah, so I'm going to move some of this stuff just to make sure everything has space. Oops. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're going for tonight, is I'm trying to plan out the UV unwrap stuff. Trying to group things into what they'll kind of work well together. Oh, hey Baker Lady, how's it going? So yeah, like the belt, and then I also have the other variation to work on texture-wise, but the other one is just a shirt, so that should be a little bit easier, I think. So I wasn't planning any edge wear on the shirt. Yeah, fish names are a bit like bird names in a way, I feel like, where they can be quite silly. But yeah, so I don't think I'll need to do any edge wear on the zipper. Maybe I'll try it, but I can do that later. Kind of tonight, the goal is basically the jacket and the goggles more than anything else. Yeah, no problem. Hope you can get some good rest. Unwind to this to the stream. Yeah, like this is a plan. The jacket. Oh, and the pants. I have the pants already unwrapped in a pretty clean way. Well, I think I actually had the pants and the belt together before. Yeah, so yeah, there's like the tit, there's the blue-footed booby, a gray tit as well. I'm sure there's others as well. Oh, that's what it is. So when I combine all these pieces of the pants, they go together. Sarcastic is a great thing to tack on to a name. Ooh, a five stream watch streak. Nice. I think watch streaks do get you more points. I don't know if anybody is really having an issue with not having enough points. I do need to find more redeems to do. But yeah, so that's kind of today's goal is pants, like the pant textures. I mean, in hindsight, I probably don't even need to have this extra geometry because I can just bake it into the pants. We'll see how it goes. I can kind of mess around with that because the pants aren't going to be like zoomed in by any means. Oh, this is a blast of audio. So I think, yeah, let's start with the jacket because that's kind of like the main thing I wanted to work on. So we'll select all of the things we want. I think that's everything for the jacket. Okay. We will export. Ooh, a perch. Nice. I think we want to do an OBJ. And I will make a substance folder. And this will be incoming. We'll set this selection only. We'll do object groups, I believe, is the best way to do this. And we will export. Oh, hey, Vucci, welcome in. I didn't realize you were the one that did the fishing there. Okay, so now I get to Painter. I don't have an auto switch for Painter, so I do apologize if it gets stuck. We want to open a file. Oh, no, we want to import new template. We want this to be PBR metallic roughness. Ooh, a trolley, nice. So the word trolley for a grocery cart, that's another one that makes a sort of clue on the not being American. Oh, Blender, that's actually what we want to use because that's all we're going to be using. I think, oh, can only go to 4K, so that might be an issue. I was hoping I can make it 8K, but we'll see how it goes. I do need to learn how to use UV tiles better in the future, but I'm not doing that this time. We don't need cameras. We don't need to auto unwrap. And then let's select our file. I realize you can't see any of this because of the way it captures the windows. And then we think we want color management. Oh yeah, we'll just keep legacy. I thought I could change it to linear. But maybe it might just be doing that by default. Yeah, so this is good for the starters. I do need to bake some maps, though, I believe. Texture set settings. I guess one of the issues here is I think my interface has been restarted. So I'll need to refine things. Bake mesh maps. High poly. Use low poly as high poly. That wasn't there last time I used this, so that's kind of nice. And we'll just kind of bake everything I think we need. Height may be good. We don't need opacity because it's all going to be solid. Oh, I didn't realize I could actually save two different texture sets. That's actually kind of nice. Wow. That's actually not what I wanted either, which is, so I may need to restart this, but it's good. Okay, and I can do 8K, so that is very good. But yeah, I feel like they did a lot of updates since the last time I did this, because this is much nicer than it was before. I'm going to undo this because I don't want to have the two texture sets here. I just want the one. So we'll just do it. Go back to Blender. And the easy way to do this is actually, can I just export it without material data? That'd be kind of nice. We'll see if I can just do that. I should be able to because OBJ and whatnot. Export. UV's normals, apply modifiers. I do want to triangulate because that would cause issues actually, so I missed that. There we go. Uncheck materials. But it is good to know that it actually supports that. So I export. We go back over here. Now if I re-import, I think I can do that. Return to paint mode. And I believe re-import mesh. Interesting that that's kind of looking weird. It's probably the backside of some of this. But it looks fine by every angle. So now we can go to Bake Mesh Maps. And there we go. We only have default material. And that is good. We want our output size, 8K. Actually, for this, we only want 4K. Well, we could test it, see how it goes. Use low poly as high. We do want bent normals, I think, and height. Then we want to bake. Our normal map, of course, is not going to look like anything. And I realize I did not do any dilation, which is going to mean there's going to be the seams. But I'll wait, because I might do the dilation at the end. Which just means adding padding to the islands. But if I set it to 8K, it should... Yeah, there we go, dilation width is there, so it'll apply it. Huh. There is some strange stuff going on, and it's probably down to the fact that I didn't apply mirror modifiers and offset. So I may need to go back and reapply that. which happens sometimes when doing texture bakes. And I'm noticing, yeah, a bit of stuff going on. So I'll need to adjust the cage. Yeah, so if I come in here, actually, this isn't mirrored, so that shouldn't have any issues. So that's interesting. This isn't mirrored though, and that might be having some issues. So what we can do is we can offset. Yeah, so we just offset this by -1. That works. And do I have anything else mirrored? I do. So I'll just do the same thing here. Offset -1. Interesting. Oh yeah, that one's not mirrored. That makes sense. So I think it was just this and then this. Okay, so we'll re-import and then rebake. Sorry if it gets a bit laggy. You know, texture baking might not be the best thing for streams, but we'll see how it goes. If it ends up being an issue, then I can always do some, you know, weight painting. Export. Selection only. Triangulate mesh. Let's see, is there anything else I need in here? Nope, seems fine. So we come back over here and we can import mesh. Okay, that seems fine. Yeah, so we can come in here. Maybe we'll change this back down to 4K. Well, we'll see how this goes. We all have these meshes. Do we have other settings? Dilation width, that's fine. Wait, don't think we need diffusion. Use a low mesh as a high mesh. Actually, that doesn't let me use the cage. Hey, Cider, how's it going? Yeah, it's still doing the same normal map bugs, which is odd. Let's see how the fishing goes. Weird drawing of a fish. Nice. That is indeed a weird drawing of the fish. Yeah, so something's going on here. Maybe I need to look at my model. That is definitely the outside, so that should be fine. There's some overlap, of course. So I can see if maybe I can... so I do, maybe it might be just the, yeah, maybe the inside causing issues. Like maybe it's not thick enough. The thickness might be causing issues. Which does make me wish I could adjust the cage size in here. So maybe I'll try loading this in. Yeah, there we go. And then that gives me more control. Try that. See if it helps at all. Nope, still got the issues. These especially confuse me. Because the sleeves, let me double check. Oh, I see the issue. The sleeves are overlapping, so I just need to move. There we go. So now I can export this again. So now I can. I'll try this again. So that's got the flipped normal, so it looks like. Still don't know why it's got the ambient occlusion looking so terrible. But the normals look very clean. So there's that. So I think we'll see if that's enough for what we need. So next thing I need is I want my my assets. So where's my corduroy? Well, let's see. Seems like the assets are project-based. But we'll go with corduroy first. Oh, right, I need to make sure it's... Okay, fabric, base material. Is that the one? Let's see. Resources. Yeah, 608. Then let's see, tiling. Not sure why it looks so much worse here. Let's go to color. I want the resolution to be custom. Oh, I can only go to 4K. That's not great. Oh well. If it ends up looking just like really bad, I might just go back to Blender because this is. Why does this look so much worse? Probably just the preview. There we go. So we can change our colors. I'll need to go through my settings and Blender to see what my colors are there. Let's see if I can get a fill. Here's my tools. Here's texture sets of layers. Fill layer, then we want a mask. Remember there was a way to just kind of drag or click on a like given area. But I don't remember what that was. That is Blender, not. Let's see. So remember, it probably had to do with fill, and then I had to do a mask. This is why it's good to do some practice. Okay, there's a quick mask mode. I don't like how there's... Yeah, I don't like how it's overflowing there. Projection. UV. Okay, still a little bit there. Oh well. Well, maybe we'll just not do that. We'll get to our generators that we want first. So I think we'll delete this. Let's make a generator, I believe. And we want stitching. Uh, there isn't a UV mask there, so is it really projecting from the inside? Oh, it's chugging. Maybe we'll delete this. And there should be a preset stitch that won't be as crazy. So what is this? Okay, let's try making a... We'll do a fill, add generator. Okay, so it's not a generator. Like, I know that is. Let's see, is there something here? I don't want materials. I want generators. Okay, so those are brushes. Well, I'm not sure what Bone Temple is, actually. Ah, zombies. Okay, so I don't have... Okay, so that is just a texture. Yeah, maybe I should have messed around with this more before going on stream. Auto Stitcher seems to be the way I want to go, but I need... Like, why is it using curvature? It should not be using curvature. Question is, why does it make everything dark? Why is it messing with normals when it should only be doing things with the auto stitch mask? So it's almost like it's doing the inverse of what it's supposed to be doing. Oh, I think I know. Okay, so I need to... Well, he's using it as a mask, which isn't what I want. Is it add paint? Nope. If it ends up taking too long, I might just do some rigging, and I'll look up some guides and stuff later on. Or, you know, depending. I also was making my computer chug, so maybe I'm just going to close this down. Yeah, the results it was showing were not... Oh. Okay, we're back. Yeah, okay, so it was hold on. Okay, hopefully it's better now. For some reason, everything is still chugging. Okay, I'm going to restart Blender. Okay, so it seems like it's working now. I think there was some kind of thing where the graphics card got confused when I closed Substance while I had Blender open. Okay, we'll load it back up. And I think I'll just get to doing some rigging maybe. And hopefully this ends up going well. Yeah, I'll just need to regroup on Substance, and I'll probably need to just do the Substance stuff off screen if I do it, just because it doesn't seem to work well on... I was hoping, because it's like, you know, GPU accelerator and whatnot, that it would that would work all right. But yeah, like it's just kind of crazy how like the visual difference on the textures here compared to substance and whatnot as well. Yeah, I'm gonna need to just see maybe using different texture sets and then just going how much higher res maybe would work. Because it seemed like it was limited to 4K basically in the output. It could also just be like the viewport renderer just being subpar in Substance. I know they have another view, like another real-time like shader you can use, so I may need to look into that, getting that properly set up. Okay, so yeah, let's get the I mean, we can, I think I've already kind of done it, yeah, because this is when I change it to cycles, the glass works. So that's fine. I don't know if I really need to have anything too crazy texture-wise on those glasses. I was really hoping I could get the stitching on the goggles though, but I'll need to mess with that more, I think, off stream. And I guess I could get the other elements ready for hopefully doing substance textures. And I got to remember that the stream freezes if I save. So I need to kind of use it a little bit more sparing. I do need to figure out what I want to do for the pants because this is not the texture I want. I wonder if I could go through my substance install and see what kind of just smart materials I have in there from the get-go. Let's see, Steam. Strutter assets, materials, fabric. So we just copy this. Then I can go into substance. These might be too new though, because the material, the substance 3D thing might be expecting an older version. So we can try it though, because I'm sure these materials aren't all necessarily, super new. I'm thinking that we do have a fabric material that is stitching. We can try even just loading it. It might crash everything. We'll see. So if we apply, yeah, so it doesn't actually, it can't do smart materials necessarily. And that's, I was expecting that. But I do just want to see if they have like a nice texture, like a fabric. I mean, that is linen, I guess. And if we tile it a few times, then it doesn't look that bad, actually, to be honest. Okay, so that's actually, that's a good material. We would definitely not have it be that scale. We would probably want to be like, more like that, probably. And then once it applies the resolution. Oh yeah, the music. Yeah, the music is all Euro Camp right now. So I do prefer this over what I had before. It was a bit too much discoloration. But I will still see. I'll apply on those later after I kind of figure things out. Let's load a different one from Substance. I saw there was felt. Try nylon too. Very similar. Yeah, there's tiling to 2. It's, yeah, I can see why it's a little bit of a shine to it. No, we want though. And we can load. Um, there is a fabric felt. There it is. Might be a newer one if it's, because I don't remember it from the previous one. So might not load. But would be really nice to be able to get stitches. Oh, it's loading. Is it going to work? I would save and reboot, but because I don't know if this material even works, I would be afraid that if it was like already in here and I tried loading it, it might just cause an infinite crash situation. But let's delete that because it might have just be a thing where I need to restart Blender and then kind of reload it to kind of give the Substance plugin a refresh because I've been kind of throwing a lot of stuff at it at once. Gives it kind of a chance to kind of clear out the kind of cache of stuff. So we try felt one more time. There we go. Yeah, so this. Oops. Well, that's actually not a bad material either. It would actually work as a felt. I want to use it for pants, of course, but if I needed felt as a material, this seems like a good base for it. And of course, I can change the fabric color and whatnot. I'm sure there's other elements to this to make it more functional, which aren't, you know, necessarily available. Like I could reduce the contrast, increase luminosity. Reduce color variation. Yeah, so I could do stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know where I would use the felt on necessarily because we do use actual like fabric and whatnot. Yeah. So we can delete felt from the list. And we can try some other ones. Wool might work. Herringbone wool. Might be good to make like a kind of old-timey look. Yeah, I think that could work. Let's increase its resolution though. Now I think we're going to go with the darker pants so we can see, we can kind of do like a warm, darker warp color. I could probably lower the resolution of it and then increase the tiling too. Interesting that it kind of just lost all its texture. We can lower this. Maybe we'll try, and then we'll put this up to 6. Let it render. Yeah, that's better. I just want to go down to 5. The tile. We maybe just actually do 4. Interesting. And I think that's down to the UV unwrap actually here. Oh, no, that's what it is. UV edit. Yeah, that fixes it. Whoops. Yeah, that's good. We won't want to balance it. We do want to make it a little bit darker. I'll want to make the weft color darker. And then we'll take these. And then we will apply. I could probably do like a slight variation actually on the kind of trim elements. Seems fine. Yeah, we definitely need something to darken this. Maybe we do warm, cool it off a bit. Yeah, I think that works pretty good. I can always adjust the tiling to get the, suitable amount of detail. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Well, let's see how you do on the fish and Bucci. Oops, sorry. I keep reflexively saving. Ooh, a can. I caught a can in Animal Crossing earlier today. And it has like a dialogue that says, I thought you were supposed to can the fish after you caught it. I do think I want a bit more of the visual texture on the yeah, and it's a can, not a can't. That's always good. Most inspirational of fish. You know, like visually, I really like how this is looking. I just really wish I could get this level of detail into Substance Painter to make just like final optimized textures that have like edgeware and stuff. So I could do edgeware in a different way, using UCU paint, but this thing I definitely cannot do on stream because it's way too resource intensive. And then basically I just set up my maps in Blender, and then I would effectively create a shader that would put the edgeware on top of this. I guess the other thing is I know where the textures are. I do have a workstation PC, but unfortunately this is working with very, very high resolution files while streaming. Yeah. Like every time I save, that's another thing. I guess I do have a bit of a CPU bottleneck in a way because I am still on AM4. But I mean, it's still a very good CPU. But the main thing is just I'm working on very high-res textures, a lot of textures, and it's all procedural. So it's a mishmash of using, the GPU, the RAM, the write speeds, and the CPU, and all doing the OL streaming. I guess it's also not a very common workflow, using the substance materials. So I could just take so I have these the way I want them. I could probably just go into my file where I have, the generated textures, and then I could just take that and then basically just remove all the substance plugin component to it, and then just use that, and then start, using it with UCU paint. So that could be a way for me to do things. And I might just end up doing that. I'll need a plan for it though, for sure. And then I'll probably need to use, what I may end up doing is using a second UV map, and then I can use UCU paint to do stitching with that. So that seems like a way to make it work. This is definitely stretched though, which is kind of bothering me. Yeah, I need it to be like that to not be stretched. Keep forgetting about saving. I hope lags the stream. But okay. I might want to do a specular noise on the eye as well, so you can get the idea it gets moved with a finger sometimes. Though normally you wouldn't use a finger, but you might have to use something. There's a bit of oil on it that would cause a very subtle smearing on it. So I'll need to. I could do a little bit of that now. Actually, let's try that. So we have this. Which material is using? Material 1. So I can go into shading. We have material 1. Oh right, because I was going to use. That's fine. So we get a roughness on here. We can go to noise. We can do a texture coordinate. and texture is going to be generated, and then we do mapping. I believe there's a hotkey with Texture Wrangler to just create this whole thing. I forgot what it is. It might be Control T. No, just T. No. I'll just look it up. Node Wrangler. Control T. That's what it was. But this is fine. So I'll just plug this in here so we can preview what it looks like. I just kind of want it very subtle. And then we plug this into roughness. And then from there, what I'll probably do is some math. So we can do these would be do color ramp. We use a factor as a color ramp. So we can adjust our fall off to a different range effectively. Yes, I can kind of see. And then this doesn't have to be black. We could make it gray and make it less, adjust our fall off. And the other thing we can do is see which side's which. So I do think we want to darken this. The easiest way to tell is also just make this constant. Yeah, so it's mainly shiny, so that's good. And I think when we cover this, so that's dark is shiny. So we do want to flip these. And so we want to make it ease again. And we want this to be kind of a gray. So we want it to be mainly shiny. We just want a little bit of that variation. Is this nitpicking? Yes. But I feel like it can kind of add stuff to it. And then we can take our whole node group. We can copy it over into our lens cap. And throw it onto our roughness. Okay, that may be a bit much. We also can probably adjust our scale. We can also, of course, UV unwrap this. And we can use UV generated instead. And that can get something a bit more natural. Yeah, I don't think I'd use fingerprints for the mask. I think noise probably does work better. Just because I do feel like they would probably be using a tool or something to move the eyes, not their actual fingers. It's like a little bit of extra realism that I like. And I can always strengthen it based on how No, I can see it a little bit here, so I'm very happy with that. It's using the same material. Mystic Miss Live, welcome in. Let me give you a shout out. Hope you're doing good. Streaming Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, nice. Bread for the fox, please. Hey, welcome in. And yeah, hope Wind Waker went well. And for those who don't know me, I'm Brett Botnick, and I do late night art streams, specifically 3D art streams. And I'm working on this fantastic Mr. Fox style model as a commission for Foxander, who is someone I've done a commission for in the past. And I believe it's here. Nope. Nope. There we go. Yeah, so I did this Little Big Planet stop motion reactive for Foxander. And thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, so we're working on this a new stop motion style reactive today. And yeah, this is the gist of the art streams. Just kind of listening to good music, chilling, trying to get stuff get some good progress done on stuff. Oh, and thanks for the follow. And yeah, this is basically what I've been up to. Yeah, I do kind of all sorts of 3D stuff. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm really proud with the Little Big Planet one. There's like small details here and there, like that aren't as noticeable unless you look up close. But I'm really happy with how it all worked out. With like the little fingerprint smudges on the glasses frames and all that. And doing some similar stuff in this where, like I'm trying to add like a little bit of oil variation in the eyes. There's like a, because the eyes were probably cast in like a resin, there's like a lens cap I have here to kind of simulate that there's depth. And yeah, doing a bit of detail work. So trying to kind of emulate a lot of the reference that I have here. Yeah, so I do want to get stitching in. I was trying to use Substance Painter to get some stitching going, though unfortunately for that, I needed to do a bit more research on how that would work. So I may have to develop kind of a different workaround to get the resolution I want in textures, while getting kind of the details that I want as well. Because I do want to add like stitching around some of these edges. May end up doing that a little bit manually later. I have some ideas, but yeah, today we did some texture work on the pants. So we got a little bit like a herringbone stitch to kind of mesh the vibes of Mr. Fox with like a Wes Anderson old-timey style, which is like what they have here with kind of Foxander's kind of color scheme more so. So I actually realized I need to kind of cool this off belt. Oops, that is not the right. Let's see, did I? Okay, yeah, we're good. Undo that. And then I make sure I'm on the right thing here. But yeah, welcome in. Hope Wind Waker was a good time. I know I really enjoy Wind Waker quite a bit. Make sure our textures are the right aspect ratio so they don't feel stretched. And this does feel a little bit too tiled. There we go. I think we want to cracks on the edge a bit. Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah, once it's all moving, I'm hoping it really kind of it sells the stop motion look. But it has been coming together, so I'm really happy with that. Like this is just a preview for the fur. There's definitely going to be like something more final later. It's gonna freeze a bit when I save, but okay, I think it's good. Oh, there it is. And then if I change this to cycles, yeah, the fur isn't final, but you can kind of get an idea. And I mean, I'm gonna need to do the lighting a bit better as well, but I'm gonna try to make it more, you know, like get to kind of this look, you know, is the plan. So if I change this to, I've got a bit of work ahead of me, but I want to get the fur to this kind of level. Yeah, thanks for the follow. So there's some small things I need to do with the fur. Maybe make the tips slightly smaller in diameter, so they kind of like you know, fade out a bit. I already adjusted the shader on the fur a bit. Which material is it? Yeah, is this one? Where is my fall off? Mix shader factor is shadow ray. I believe maybe it was just like transparent. Yeah, so I think if I adjusted this, I could kind of change the intensity of the fur. So I have the shader kind of blend in a bit more at the base, so it kind of has a softer feel. Yeah, and then I've got two different particle systems going right now. I've got like the short hair and then I get the long hair. But yeah, once I finesse it more, I'm hoping it'll the right look. Then I just got to do the shading. I don't have a test camera. I do have a test camera kind of in place where I'll, you know, I need to adjust some things like the exposure. Because I need to test if it's a lower exposure and stronger lights that will get the look that I want, or if it's a higher exposure and lower lights. Yeah, you can see how like exposure can adjust the vibes. Oh, but I actually want this one. So I make this like 200. Yeah, you can see where we're going with getting closer to matching it. So it does seem like it's more the lower exposure settings with brighter lights. Oh, thanks for the blanket. Yeah, so we're getting there. Especially once I actually get to the... Oh yeah, hope you get some good rest, Bucci. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, and yeah, so once I'll probably like do like one stream dedicated entirely to doing the fur correctly. And yeah, then like I'll probably even like 3D model a few stray hairs, fur hairs on their own and whatnot, and it should be good. I'll do like a little additional grooming of the hair or the fur once I do the animation. because I do want to have like a little bit of like the like boiling effect for stop motion with the movement. And there is a plugin that I'm going to be using that can do blend shapes with the fur. Yeah, so that's the plan. I am happy with what I did today with the slight variations of the roughness on the eyes. I feel like it doesn't necessarily make it line up entirely with the style that you can see more here, where it does feel like more hand made in white, even though this is like lower resolution. The slight variations can do a lot to sell realism. But yeah, so I think we have like these kind of darker shadows, and I think that's down to the exposure settings on the camera. And we should be able to get kind of dialed in even more so to look correct when I realize I need to adjust the roughness here. But so don't get too sidetracked. Once I tune the camera, because there's kind of two elements to the render engine here. One is the cycles renderer, which is kind of Blender's non-real-time render system. And then the other one is optics, which is kind of a layer on top of that for kind of a fancier camera or camera shader stuff in a way. I'm not using an OSL shader, which is open shader language, which is something you can do. Well, it's in the works in newer versions of Blender, but what I am using is a plugin that allows me to kind of dial in real camera settings. So I do need to see if I can dial in the exact camera I want to use for this. And I'll do a little bit of testing on kind of what I want for the focal length and whatnot. And then I can go in and look at kind of the set of lenses they used and whatnot on the set. They don't have the presets for those because they're kind of less common. But I might be able to get the data sheet that would let me do the math. Now, why is lower roughness causing it to not give me the shine? Almost seems like the inverse of what I'm looking at. Maybe it's the scale. It might be the scale. Yeah, I'll need to work on the nose a bit later on too. Like it looks kind of closer to what we want there. Yeah, it's interesting that as I get the roughness, we get kind of just an overall less why does that feel mirrored to me? Let's go to UVs. Yeah, I might just need to use a different material on the nose. I think it's like a painted plastic I'm using right now. We can change the exposure back up for a bit here. Yep, we do want sRGB for the display. AGX is good. Yeah, we don't want anything for the look. If I wanted to go very, very crazy, what I would probably end up doing is change this to a different do like a raw, and then I would just color grade it in sequencer or something. Because raw it'll look very crazy, but once you color grade it appropriately, then it would, you'd have as much control as you can color space wise. But yeah, I think we can try Filmic, which is kind of the old calculations they did. But I think AGX will retain as much of the color value as well with the overbrights and the lighting and whatnot, which is important when we do the lower exposure settings. Like -2 seems to be kind of the sweet spot for the look we are probably going to go for. But I'll need to balance things because this is very contrasty. And I do need to make sure that it is going to feel right when aligned with, like a stream setup. But yeah, I'll mess with that more later. We can do like a -1 for now while we kind of work on it more. Yeah, I was going to use Substance for the buttons here as well. But I'll wait on that for later. And I do want to find a better... Felt might not be bad. Well, no, if I had a satin for the buttons, that'd be ideal. Yeah, I could try loading... There's some materials here I'm not as familiar with. I can try. This is a tarpaulin. Let's see if it loads. So that's kind of like a weird. Okay, so that's tarp. It's like a black or like black or blue plastic, generally canvasy kind of thing. Lace. We're not going to use lace. Let's see what other materials do we have. Go ahead and try wood. But that probably wouldn't make any sense. Suede might work. Let's try that. And we can get rid of the tarp. Suede. Let's see if we can go darker. We reduce our roughness a little bit. Increase our tiling. Oh, I do like that. I would probably want to do some ambient occlusion or something. I do want to go a little bit darker. Probably like a little bit less color. Still a little bit less color. It catches the light really nice. Color variation, we can try that a little. can try increasing the resolution a little. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, I hope you have a good time at the movie. Should probably go to a movie theater again sometime. Oh, hey, Mookie, how's it going? Yeah, let's make this as dark as we can. Popcorn is always pretty classic. Or if there's a candy you like, that's always good too. I'm always fond for movies with I guess it depends on the mood I'm in. Normally I do Sour Patch Kids. But it's like, something sour. Featurings is also good. If I'm in a chocolate mood, then I would do Reese's Pieces. Let's see, do I have anything else I really need to want to adjust? I don't think so. Like this is good. I might darken it with the color there. Is it? It's rendering. If it doesn't finish rendering, I could always save and restart to kind of kickstart it into working again. But I guess one thing I can do is once I get these textures exactly how I want them, then I can just, for the sake of making my project not terrible, I can clean it up by just taking the actual textures and effectively removing the substance element to it, because I know like I've got the values that I want, and that'll allow me to kind of ensure I don't run into as much issues. And then I could always use those textures inside UCU Paint natively if I want, and do the finishing touches, which will be good. And I guess once I have my textures backed up, then I could do variations for like the texture wear. That might be a good idea. Yes, I'll save and restart it. And then I think I'll make a new file just to make sure. Yep, okay, yeah, it's looking good. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Okay. Yes, I think I've got a clear path and I'm going to do things. It's not with Substance Painter. So what I'll probably end up doing is making a different project. And we have, okay, sorry, gonna have to wear a hoodie because the theaters are so cold. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and candy and popcorn is always expensive in theaters, but because that's how they make their money. But I feel like cold movie theaters are nice. Maybe it's because I just live somewhere that's always really hot. But you know, cool, dry theater with a hoodie can be pretty comfy. Yeah, so I'm happy with how this is turning out so far. Do I want to make the... I think I checked... Maybe I'll adjust the color here after I readjust the textures and not use substance. I can just do a thing where I, you know, do a slight adjustment on the color on the collar. Yeah, I really enjoy cold theaters. What they should really do is they should really make theaters really, really, really cold and then serve you warm drinks. Maybe I can. And dare I try messing with this to make this shader use... Oh, this has its whole own thing going for it. Oh, but it has a roughness slot. Oh, it looks like ads are going to start. My apologies. I can actually use the eyeball nodes. Yeah, I think there's still some over here that serve alcohol. One I've always wanted to go to that I've never have is the rooftop theaters. Because those are always seems like a really cool vibe. Texas Roadhouse. Isn't Texas Roadhouse a restaurant, not a movie theater, though? Or do you mean the Alamo Draft House? How does this look in cycles? It's not too noticeable. You can kind of see it. Yeah, I can see how you'd get them confused a bit. I wonder if I can add ambient occlusion into the mix. So ambient occlusion would be multiply math. Let's see, if it's roughness, then I might need to invert, unless this crashes, which it could. Yeah, if I unplug it. Oh, yep, it's crashing. uh, yeah, I guess that's what I get for trying to use ambient occlusion nodes. I guess if someone's your hater and then they end up blocking you, then that's kind of like it's like end of a chapter kind of a thing. Oh wait, are you at the theater right now? Do be sure to silence your cell phone. Let's actually get the data for color here. Well, we don't want color. What is our roughness? So our roughness is almost. All right. So we. Can we go to roughness? You want this. This is our base, and we want our value like that. Yeah, so like if we consume most of it, it'll basically be oh. Sometimes I do like to go to the movie theaters to see the ads though. It gives you time to like get comfortable before the movie starts. Do I have denoise on? I don't. Good. Let's see. Do I add? And then we want to adjust our. Let's make sure our scale is applied on everything. I'm generally okay with that. So now see how it looks in cycles. Yeah, we have like some little specs and stuff. That's nice. I will want to see about doing a decal though, because it'd be fun to do a decal of the Foxander kind of logo stuff. Like, what's that? Zipper. What's it called? J or zipper logo. It does not help me. logo unzipper. Big zipper brand. I feel like it's a 3-letter word, or 3-letter zipper initials. Google is failing me. Most common zipper brand. YKK. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. So YKK zipper. And it's literally just text, so that makes things easier, reference-wise. So now I want to go to Foxander's art. So they use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's fine. Yeah, okay. So I'll do a placeholder and then I'll double check to see if they want it there. Because that seems like a good idea. Give permission if they want their like a logo there. So let's so it would be something like F, X, and DR. We can scale it down really small. We can put on this. We want to make sure it aligns rotation to target. There we go. Turn that off. Can add a solidify. Let's look at this knot in. Okay, yeah, so it is aligned right. Let's just get a simple, let's align it center. Let's make sure we get a font that looks fine with kind of matching the general style. Let's try a few. Similar-ish, but not really wide enough to really get a feel for it. Nope, that doesn't work in 3D. Probably with just the formatting, too much data. So we want a wide font. Closer. This might be good as a placeholder, actually. Yeah, it's closer. I guess not too bad. I just have one more look around. It's kind of skewed. Something geometric might be the way to go, honestly. For a placeholder, I think this will work. So probably something like that. We definitely need. Let's do a slightly bolder font. Let's also add a bevel. Maybe the bevel won't work with the there is a bevel node though. Oh, that's in Blender 5. Let's see. So it's in normal. Oh, we don't have a normal. We do have a bump though. That might be the issue, is because we're using a metal material instead of like a standard. Let's see how it looks in cycles. Could always blend, of course, as well. You're in Blender after all. If we scale this, actually, let's change our font. And we probably want it to look just kind of more standard. Standard but straight. I realized if I was on my other computer, I'd have a Night in the Woods font. That probably would have worked well, actually. I may have to hunt that down. I realize I probably should have waited. It probably crashed. Oh well. Yeah, the renderer crashed. Can I save it? I don't think so. Oh well. Yeah, so it could be because I'm using the optics, which kind of features with the OSL stuff that's causing it to not be great. Yeah, so did I lose my... I did. It's fine. I'll work on the variation on this later, I think. It could just be because I'm using this shader instead of like a normal metal. Let's see, we're coming up on 2 hours. Maybe it might be time to call it for the night, actually. It'll give me time to kind of regroup. At least I got these buttons, so I'm happy with that. Yeah, so we can do a little bit preview. Let's make sure that no more raids happen. So I think -2 for exposure. We go, let's another one of these over here, but we'll make it like half the power and make it cool. Like maybe like a 90 in the power. Now if we turn this on, we could probably even try a lower exposure than that. Maybe like a 3. And we can increase our lighting value to maybe... Oh, do we have... No. I also realize I need to make our lights bigger because our studio lighting is going to be much bigger than our characters. And that's going to affect how reflections and everything work. Where did my other light go? Oh, there you are. Yeah, you're going to be far away. You're going to be bigger. Oh yeah, have it. Enjoyed the movie. Thanks for hanging out. And then we want this to be maybe like a... Because the bigger the light we need, the bigger, the stronger power. And the sun definitely seems to work on a different power. So the sun is a normalized thing, it looks like. Probably so you don't have to go too crazy high values on it. Of course, that's the only lighting we have. There's different kinds of scenes. Like this one where it's a bit more evenly lit. So that's something to consider as we work on this. But it's a good vibe here. But it does give an idea of what kind of exposure settings we want to get the feel of the final. Yeah, I don't think this is even used necessarily. I guess it's a little bit of like a hair light. Yeah, so we can adjust exposure to really get the shadows clocked in. Of course, a lot of this orange could be color grading as well. That's another factor into it. So just figuring out like the fall off is going to be more important in a lot of ways. But let's see. This is kind of what we got done today. Pants texture, buttons, kind of the variation in the eyes, a little bit of prep on different UV work, and then kind of planning to how we're going to handle the finalizing of the textures. But yes, I think that is all for now. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, sorry, I said that while saving. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see, we can raid over to... I think I might do another... I might do another one of these streams tomorrow night. You know, we can keep working on it. Yeah, it's going a bit slower than I anticipated, so I would like to just keep pushing to get this, you know, much, you know, closer to being done. So let's see, we can run over to, can maybe go to Rain. It's been a while. I see two artists that could be good. One is Rain, and the other is Moss Puppy, who I think is back. That just started. You know, it's been a while, so let's raid over to Moss Puppy. I need to... Oh, they've disabled raids. Oh well. We can raid over to Rain Blue. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'll try to do another stream tomorrow. I got like the YCHs I have. And I can post a link to those. There we go. Yeah, YCHs will be available for one more day. For the Valentine's Day Cupid reactive. And yeah, and then I'll take it down because I won't be able to, you know, work on it and finish it before Valentine's Day. After that point, really. But yeah, thanks again for stopping in, and I'll see you later. Bye.